can you tell more how you got into NFTs and why did you decide to change the direction of your business to NFTs?
Yeah. So as mentioned before, we were always focused on commerce on the blockchain, but it was hard to get activity for off-chain goods and services. At one point, we were thinking about, hey, how do we rebuild Airbnb or Uber on chain? And it's just too early for that right now, right? At some point, I think it will happen, but 5 years ago, it was way too early. And then we wanted to find the specific commerce segments where there was already activity by the people in our space, right? And NFTs started kind of developing during that bear market and started taking shape at the end of 2020. And we were well positioned to already have a commerce product on chain. And now we just have to think about, okay, like how do we shift to address a market that's starting to grow? And so that's when we decided to get into NFTs at the end of 2020. And we turned our existing technology into a way to basically cater to NFT creators that wanted to sell to buyers and sellers. And so that was the start of Origin Story. Originally, it was called Origin's NFT Launchpad, and then we rebranded to Origin Story. But along the way, we were very fortunate to work with some of the best creators out there on their drops. Probably the most notable is working with the acclaimed musician and producer Blau. He sold one of his albums on the Origin platform, and it generated $11.7 million of proceeds. And at the time was a record setter. And this really actually was the drop that woke everyone up in the entertainment industry and alerted them to start doing NFTs, right? And so after this drop by Blau on the Origin platform, then we saw entrants like Steve Aoki, right, or BT, or Paris Hilton, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Athletes, musicians, actors and actresses, pretty much anyone in the creative industry started paying attention and getting into NFTs. And so from there, we worked with a number of other, very well-known artists. We actually also did the Charlie Bit My Finger auction that generated global headlines because they took the video off of YouTube as well, and did a lot of cool work there. And so that's how we built that business up. And another exciting thing that we should mention to your audience is that concurrent to the new OGV launch, we're actually relaunching OGN staking. So it's going to be new token utility for OGN as well. And so what happens here is you'll be able to stake OGN. And when you stake OGN, you'll be able to earn ETH rewards from the Origin Story platform. And so if you're staking that OGN and there are primary sale drops that Origin is helping our creator partners on, we're taking a commission on that. And those commissions, 100% of them are going to be passed on to OGN stakers. And then our new marketplace product that we're working with a bunch of top collections on, any trading fees, buying and selling on those marketplaces, those ETH fees will also be redirected to OGN stakers. So anyone that's staking OGN will basically be able to have a cut of the platform and protocol revenue that's generated by Origin Story.
Great. And what was the most expensive NFT ever sold on your platform?
I think it was at 11.7 million. It was like a collection of NFTs, but in a special auction that we designed. But yeah, $11.7 million cleared with Blau's auction on our platform.
Cool. And with all these celebrities and artists, singers, how did you start to work? Did you approach them, or did they come themselves to you because they see like first success story?
Yeah, I mean, largely it was inbound. And so we do have a business development team, but we got thousands of inquiries and people wanting to work with us. And so we were quite selective in working with tier A talents and establishing relationships. That doesn't mean that that's the only thing we want to do, right? And so over time, we've opened up our platform. So anyone that wants to launch NFTs, not just celebrities, can do it at story.xyz. And so we have this self-serve interface that allows people to create their NFT storefronts, mint with their very own smart contracts, and sell NFTs. And again, lately, we've also been branching out into these collections. Pudgy Penguins is one of our first collection partners that has a native website, or sorry, native marketplace on their own website. You can check it out at pudgymarket.com. It's a really cool experience, right? It's like bringing OpenSea and gem.xyz into any creator's experience, right? So it's number one, branded, makes it a much more cohesive experience for the community. Number two, it has only the official smart contracts, so that reduces scams and fake collections tremendously. Number three, it aggregates liquidity, just like Gem or Genie. And so you can actually still purchase from OpenSea and LixRare and X2, Y2 smart contracts directly in our UI, but there will also be native trading. And that fourth piece, native trading, will allow the collection owners as well as Origin OGN stakers to take a cut of marketplace fees, right? So imagine if the 2.5% of trading fees that are taken by OpenSea can then actually go back to the creator itself as well as OGN stakers. We feel like that's a better economic model, and will incentivize a bunch of creators to use our platform, as well as incentivize a bunch of people to purchase OGN and then stake it to participate in the growth of our NFT product line.
And can you tell us more about your cooperation with Paris Hilton?
Yeah, Paris Hilton is amazing. She's such a pleasure to work with. She's so intelligent, and she just totally gets cryptocurrency, Web3, metaverse. She's kind of the queen of the metaverse. And so we met her actually on a Clubhouse call in early 2021. And the conversations emerged from there, and pretty soon she had signed on to be an investor and an advisor to Origin. And then we also collaborated with her on her latest NFT drop, which was really geared towards her mainstream fans. Really cool, right? Because a lot of people are not familiar with NFTs, but in this case, we were able to allow a lot of her mainstream fans to purchase NFTs for just $11.11 using credit cards. And then they were able to get a bunch of perks and utility from her as well. And so we did a raffle on those NFTs. There were winners that are get to meet her on Zoom or even in person in real life. There are people that got signed memorabilia from her, that got social media follows and shout outs from her. And it's just a really cool experience. And so Paris Hilton, I think, is not only is she a global icon that has such an amazing personal brand and so many different business lines, but she's going to be an evangelist for Web3 and this new wave of the internet, right? And she's doing a fantastic job getting the word out, creating new use cases, doing things in a very authentic way that is really winning the hearts and minds of people in crypto, but also the broader audiences. So love working with her.
Yes, it's great that just average people get to know about crypto industry through NFTs, and as well as it's cool that you met just on Clubhouse.
Yeah, it's funny how the industry works.
Yeah, and as well, like, how do you see current NFT market? Like, most of the tokens are down, Bitcoin, Ethereum are down, as well. Majority of NFT projects are totally crashed. So, in what do you see the value of NFTs, and what type of projects do have future?
Yeah, so there's no doubt about it. We're in a bear market right now, right? So global macro conditions are not great. Inflation is very high. The US Fed as well as other central banks are ratcheting up interest rates, and that's kind of creating just this risk-off environment. And so that's why we're seeing Bitcoin fall, Ethereum fall, NFTs fall. So no doubt about that. But I think what we are seeing is that there's a flight to quality, right? So we're seeing a lot of these copycat NFT projects really go to zero, but the ones that are quality, whether that's Bored Apes or Azuki, etc. Like there still is activity in those communities. They're still trading. Maybe prices are down a little bit, but these are real projects that are being built, right? And I liken it to what happened with the bear market in 2018, where a lot of the ERC20 tokens went to zero or declined in price, but the projects that really were building, they created a lot of long-term value, right? And out of that bear market came DeFi summer, and then in the NFT explosion, half a year thereafter. And so right now we're trying to focus on working with people that we think have long-term perspectives, that care about the community, that care about delivering real value and utility. And there's still plenty of folks that are doing that. And so I think the market activity has come down a little bit, but it's also an opportunity to identify who are the people that are going to be here a couple of years from now. There's less noise, more signal in the market. It's also a great time to just like kind of build without distractions. And so there's plenty of opportunities still, right? Both for an investment perspective in NFTs, there's going to be less noise. So as an investor, you can pick and choose from the blue chips more easily. And also as builders, right? So if you're running an NFT project or about to launch, this is actually a good time, right? Even though it's a bit contrarian because the market is down, this is where it's going to be easier for you to build a community, to hire great people, to not have to deal with a bunch of knockoffs and crappy competitors, and really fulfill your vision. And so I do think that the flight to quality is a very real phenomenon that we're beginning to see. And this is demonstrated by like on-chain analytics, like where capital is flowing, what projects are maintaining their floor prices and holder bases and things like that. And so, with just a little bit of research, people can figure out which projects are working and which projects are not working, and make informed decisions as to kind of where to place their bets with NFTs.
And how long do you think this bear market will last?
Oh, that's a really great question. If I knew, then I would be deploying my capital very effectively. I do think that probably the worst of it is behind us. There have been pretty drastic measures by the Fed. So I think the very violent crashes and the unwinding of leverage from like Luna UST, Three Arrows Capital, the fallout of CeFi with Celsius and BlockFi, I think the majority of the pain is done. There's still probably some residual contagion effects, and so I think there's going to be a lot of choppiness. I don't think we rebound very quickly. I think we're going to be in this like prolonged bear market for probably at minimum another 6 months, but probably more like 12 to 18 months. But I do think that it'll be more stable, right? It'll be more sideways, maybe it goes down a bit more and we hit the bottom and it starts going up. Bear markets are always very violent, and then they kind of chop around, and then the bull market takes a while, right? There's going to be a couple false relief rallies, I think, but I do think that we're looking at a longer time horizon for the next leg up. But I don't think it's going to be like another 50% or 80% drop from here.
Hopefully. And
yeah.
As well, getting back to NFTs, I know that you made a charity drop for Ukraine, and I'm from Ukraine, so it's great to see that your project supports my country. Can you tell more about the drop, and do you still cooperate with more artists for charity drops?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, like obviously, it really, kind of personally hurt me to see what's happening with Ukraine and Russia. Like war is just like such a horrible thing for humanity, right? For the people of Ukraine, my heart goes out to you. Like keep up the good fight. While I think the world is supporting you, right? And so while there's hardship, let's rally and do what we can. But yeah, we did a charity drop for Ukraine. We found artists that were able to create Ukraine-themed NFTs and helped raise funds there. Separately, I also participated in a number of drops that were also geared towards benefiting Ukraine. We launched a little bit of an anonymous project at one point as well to generate more funding. And so there have been multiple efforts by, I think, Origin, but also the broader Web3 community to support Ukraine. And I think that's a good thing, right? Let's keep the good fight up. And in general, we do love working with nonprofits and charities for good causes. So we also did a drop with Inspiration 4, which is the mission that launched with SpaceX. So Inspiration 4, SpaceX, and then St. Jude is the charity that we're raising funds for. And that was also quite successful. We sold, I think like 60,000 plus NFTs for one particular artist. And then we had a nice cast of other, well-known people that were contributing their works for those causes. And so we're going to continue doing that. Like if there's a good cause that anyone in the audience cares about, that wants to do a drop with Origin, we're always happy to hear about that. We have to give back, right? I think all of us that are in crypto now, we're actually pretty fortunate, despite the bear market crash of recent. Like we're still pretty early, and we've all been fortunate to work with cool technology and probably benefit financially, and also meet a lot of great people around the world working on a lot of great causes. And so I do encourage folks to think about how they can give back to the folks that are going through hard times and not as fortunate as ourselves.
Yes, it's great that crypto community is so much supportive and that new technologies are used for the good causes. So keep supporting good charities and as well Ukraine, and hope to see more exciting news about Origin protocol. Thank you for the conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really enjoyed being here and being able to engage with you and also the community. And let's keep building through this bear market and make great things happen. And Web3 is going to change the world. So let's all do our small part to have that impact and transform the internet into something that we're really proud of.
Thank you.